Fame can make someone look untouchable. When celebrities walk red carpets, appear on magazine covers, and collect millions of fans around the world, people start believing they live above normal rules. But history has proven something disturbing again and again. Fame doesn't erase the truth. And sometimes, the very stars people admire the most ended up involved in crimes that shock the entire world. Today, we're looking at some of Hollywood's darkest celebrity cases. Stories of fame, power, downfall, and convictions that destroyed reputations forever. Some of these names were once treated like icons. Others were considered untouchable legends. But after the headlines exploded, everything changed. And trust me, some of these cases became so disturbing that fans still refuse to believe they actually happened. The entertainment industry has always hidden a darker side behind the cameras. Expensive suits, flashing lights, luxury mansions, private parties from the outside, it all looks perfect. But behind closed doors, scandals have destroyed careers for decades. And in some situations, those scandals turned into criminal convictions that no amount of money or fame could escape. One of the biggest reasons these stories shock people so deeply is because celebrities are often seen as role models. Fans grow up watching their movies, listening to their music, or laughing at their interviews. People feel emotionally connected to them. So when one of those stars suddenly appears in court instead of on television, the reaction becomes explosive. And Hollywood has seen this happen more times than most people realize. Some celebrity convictions involve fraud and corruption. Others involve violence, drugs, or shocking abuse allegations that completely change public opinion overnight. In many cases, fans defended these celebrities for years until the evidence became impossible to ignore. What makes these stories even darker is how quickly fame can collapse. One moment, a celebrity is standing under bright cameras at a movie premiere, and the next, they're standing in front of a judge while the entire world watches. And the media attention only makes everything more intense. The internet has changed celebrity scandals forever. Years ago, stories spread slowly through newspapers and television. But now, one courtroom update can travel across the world in seconds. Every facial expression gets analyzed. Every statement becomes a headline. Every rumor spreads instantly. And once public opinion turns against a celebrity, escaping that damage becomes nearly impossible. Some stars lost movie deals worth millions. Others disappeared from Hollywood completely. A few became symbols of scandal that people still talk about years later. But what shocked audiences most wasn't just the crimes themselves. It was the fact that many of these celebrities spent years carefully building perfect public images. Charming interviews, emotional speeches, smiling appearances in front of cameras. To fans, they look successful, respected, even inspirational. And that's exactly why the truth hit so hard when convictions finally happened, because the public realized something uncomfortable. Sometimes the image Hollywood sells to the world is completely different from reality. One of the most disturbing parts of celebrity culture is how power can protect people for years. Famous individuals often have money, connections, expensive lawyers, and loyal fan bases willing to defend them no matter what happens. That power can create an environment where warning signs get ignored for a very long time. And when those cases finally reach court, the world watches in disbelief. Some trials became global media events. Reporters camped outside courthouses for weeks. Fans argued online every single day. News channels analyzed every detail nonstop. Entire careers collapsed in real time, while millions watched from home. In certain cases, the convictions permanently changed Hollywood itself. Studios became more careful. Journalists started investigating deeper. Former employees and victims felt more confident speaking publicly. The industry slowly began facing difficult questions it had avoided for years. But despite all that, celebrity culture still has a strange effect on people. Even after convictions, some stars continue to have loyal supporters who refuse to accept the truth. That emotional connection between celebrities and fans can become incredibly powerful. People don't want to believe someone they admired could be capable of terrible actions. And sometimes that denial keeps these stories alive for years. But the courtroom doesn't care about fame. Once evidence appears, once verdicts are delivered, once convictions become official, the illusion starts breaking apart. And for many celebrities, that moment became the end of everything. Some lost their fortunes. Some lost their families. Some lost their freedom. And others became permanent examples of how dangerous fame and unchecked power can become when nobody is willing to say no. What makes Hollywood's darkest cases so fascinating isn't just the scandal, it's the contrast. The contrast between glamour and destruction, between public smiles and private chaos, between the celebrity people thought they knew and the reality hiding underneath. And maybe that's why audiences remain obsessed with these stories. They reveal something unsettling about fame itself. The same world that can turn someone into a superstar overnight can also watch their downfall like entertainment. Hollywood builds legends, but it also creates some of the most shocking collapses the public has ever seen. And the truth is, there will probably be more cases in the future. Because as long as fame, money, and power exist together, scandals will continue hiding in the shadows, waiting for the moment they finally explode into public view. The real question is, how many dark secrets are still hidden behind Hollywood's brightest smiles? For decades, Hollywood has sold a world of fantasy. Perfect lives, perfect relationships, perfect success stories. But the deeper people looked into some celebrity cases, the more they realized how carefully that image was controlled behind the scenes. And sometimes the warning signs were there all along. Former co-workers later admitted they had witnessed disturbing behavior years earlier. Assistants claimed they stayed silent out of fear. Industry insiders whispered rumors privately while cameras continued rolling publicly. In some cases, powerful celebrities were protected simply because they generated too much money for studios and networks to risk exposing them. That's what made several convictions even more disturbing. People began asking a terrifying question. How long did others know? Because when major celebrities fall, the story rarely involves just one person. There are often managers, agents, producers, lawyers, or executives standing somewhere in the background. And in many scandals, critics argue that Hollywood's obsession with fame allowed dangerous behavior to continue far longer than it should have. Some cases became so massive that they divided the entire internet. Fans fought constantly online. One side defended the celebrity, no matter what evidence appeared. The other side believed the truth had been obvious from the beginning. Social media turned court cases into worldwide spectacles where every update triggered millions of reactions within minutes. And the pressure became enormous. For celebrities facing conviction, the downfall often happened in stages. First came rumors, then leaked stories, then media investigations, then public statements, then lawsuits, then courtroom appearances, and finally, the moment headlines confirmed the conviction. That slow collapse became impossible for the world to ignore. Some celebrities tried rebuilding their image afterward through interviews, documentaries, or emotional apologies. A few disappeared from public life completely. Others attempted comebacks years later, hoping audiences would eventually move on. But for many people, certain scandals cross a line that could never fully be erased. And that's because celebrity convictions feel personal to audiences in a way ordinary news stories often don't. People invest emotions into famous stars. They watch their movies during childhood. They follow their careers for years. They celebrate their success like they personally know them. So when shocking criminal cases appear, fans feel betrayed, confused, even angry. That emotional shock is exactly why these stories dominate headlines so intensely. And then there's another uncomfortable reality. Sometimes fame itself creates isolation. The bigger a celebrity becomes, the fewer people around them are willing to challenge them honestly. Everyone depends on their success. Employees rely on their money. Studios rely on profits. Fans offer endless praise online. Slowly, some celebrities begin living inside a world where consequences feel distant, until reality suddenly crashes into that world all at once. Courtrooms don't operate like movie premieres. There are no carefully scripted interviews, no luxury filters, no editing, no publicists controlling every question. Inside court, evidence matters more than image. And for several famous stars, that reality completely destroyed the powerful personas they spent decades building. The media coverage surrounding these cases also changed modern entertainment forever. Audiences became more skeptical of celebrity culture. Journalists started digging deeper into accusations instead of ignoring them. Social media gave ordinary people the ability to discuss scandals instantly without waiting for television networks. And victims in some major cases felt more empowered to speak publicly than ever before. Hollywood's untouchable image slowly began cracking. But despite all the scandals, convictions, and public downfalls, society still remains fascinated by celebrity culture. People continue following stars closely. They continue admiring fame. They continue watching the rise and fall of public figures, almost like a real-life drama series unfolding in front of the world. And maybe that fascination says something important about human nature itself. People are drawn to power. They are drawn to success. And they are especially drawn to the shocking moment when someone powerful loses everything. That's why Hollywood's darkest cases continue capturing global attention years later. They aren't just crime stories anymore. They become symbols of what happens when fame, money, secrecy, and power collide behind closed doors. Some of these celebrities once seemed unstoppable, but history proves something very different. No amount of awards, wealth, popularity, or influence can permanently protect someone from the consequences of the truth. And in the end, that truth became more powerful than the fame itself. Hollywood may look glamorous from the outside, but these shocking cases prove that fame can hide some very dark truths. The same stars once celebrated by millions eventually became part of headlines nobody expected to see. And maybe that's the most disturbing part of all. The line between superstar and scandal can disappear faster than anyone imagines, because in the end, fame doesn't decide the truth, reality does. So the next time Hollywood presents another perfect celebrity image to the world, people might look a little closer behind the spotlight. Some of these stories will probably continue being debated for years, while others remain painful reminders of how dangerous power can become when nobody questions it. But one thing is certain, Hollywood never forgets its darkest scandals. And no matter how carefully an image is created, the truth has a way of eventually reaching the spotlight. Because behind every red carpet, every interview, and every smiling camera flash, there can sometimes be a completely different reality hiding in the shadows. And that's exactly what made these convicted celebrities shock the entire world.